2 seasons ago? Maybe. Oh, 5 active users. Okay, so I've got 3 decks that I put together. I should probably move my camera somewhere. I'm not really sure where. So the first one that we're going to play is this deck. So the leader here is Tortoise the Necrotortoise. In the first 2 rounds, whenever a creature I control dies, it goes back into my deck instead of the graveyard. So it's like leads to a sort of Lippy-like game plan where you get to reuse your golds. And then there are some other cards like the Zombros that keep cycling through. And by strengthening the Zombros, you develop to some pretty big engines. And ideally turn that into a win. I guess the key cards here are the various cards that let us destroy the Zombros. We've got a Dedishe, which is an engine that kills the unit to the left every turn and deals damage equal to its power. And the Zombros yellow gadgets. They're gold and silver gadgets. Sort of. But I'm glad you caught the reference. And you've got Consuming Wraith, Flesh Transmuter, Dedapult. All these cards help cycle through the Zombros, which are basically the core of the deck's engine. And while Necrotortoise will put them back when they die naturally, it does not put them back when they die to round end, so we have some Necromancers in order to bring them back so we can do this in multiple rounds. Anyway, I'm going to queue up. If anyone would like to play, just click on the Find a Match button. Expedition, the beautiful card art and the MS Paint art is hilarious. Yeah. The art's slowly getting done. There are starter decks. You don't need to build a deck in order to play. Did Mario make any art? Yeah, he made the Master Necromancer art. There we go. So we've queued Redaranan. So the first thing that happens is instead of coin flip, there's a points auction where both players secretly bid an amount of points. The player who bids less starts the game with that many points and goes first. So if I bid 5 points and my opponent bids 6 points, because I bid a fewer number, I will be on blue coin and I will be going first with 5 phantom points. If I bid higher and lower based on how much I value being on each coin in the matchup. So I bid 5, he bid 2, so he starts the game with 2 points. I don't have both of these in my hand as they want to come out of the deck. I've got exactly the one Grave Calling Spectre. I think this hand looks pretty good overall. I've got a couple ways to destroy my Zombro, some ways to strengthen my Zombros. Happy to keep this. Basically, our plan here is probably going to be Zombro into Cultist to destroy it and strengthen it to 8. It will go back into the deck. Oops. And pull out the gold Zombro. So the different rows do different things. Cards played on the command row will boost your leader by 1. Cards played on the middle row or the battlements row will get boosted by 1. And cards played on the melee row or the frontline row get 2 armor. I'm going to play for carry over here. And put this on command in order to buff the leader. With both bid 5, then it's random. But in that situation, both players value going first the same amount, so it shouldn't matter as much. They'd be happy regardless of the result. Will this come back to the same row? No, from your deck. Maybe not. Play this for points. Kill this, and then when it dies, the gold Zombro comes out, and because one of my creatures died during my turn, a Carrion Feeder comes out of my deck for free. So opponent has a Sandstorm on my row. Did I get rid of my row tooltips? Oh, it's just there for some reason? Oh. So on turn start, the leftmost unit on my row gets damaged by 1. And he has damage by 2. And he has Osakron the Wise, which deals an extra point of damage when the Sandstorm destroys something. So here I'm just gonna go for the Cultist again and strengthen up the Zombros. Because one of my my units died under Sandstorm, you got a Sander out of his deck. Developing URCG Observer. There is a spectator mode. You can go into the main menu. There should be a big spectate button. You should be able to watch this game if you want in the client. If you want to be able to mouse over the cards yourself. It's a little buggy when games end. You've got to like manually exit the game, but not a big deal. So you played a Curious Colossus, dealt 6 to my Zombro, and then it died to the Sandstorm, pulling out the Golden Zombro. So on turn end, deal 8 damage to the unit to this unit's left, and then the same to the highest unit. So if I play this here, it'll deal 8 to the Zombro, or deal 8 to the Zombro, then deal 8 to his Sorkon, which will also put the Zombro at 1, setting it up to die to the Sandstorm. And we want to keep these things dying. Rose an edgier art style. Should probably get this mummy down at some point. Crushing Sands is the spell that puts a Sandstorm in play, which is the weather effect here. Doesn't look like he's playing a deck with any boons. Just do this for now. Another Dedapult kills the gadget, or the Zombro, cycles it out again. And you sort of see how Tortoise is doing a lot of work here. Basically allowing us to keep cycling these. Yep, weather lasts forever. There are different ways to clear weather. There's boons. So like each faction has a beneficial row effect that goes on their own side and a negative row effect that goes on the opponent's side. And there are some other things too, like Indifferent Geomancer is a card that puts an Earthquake row effect on every row, which effectively clears. I have a pass here. Pretty reasonable pass for card advantage. I still kind of want to thin with my Grave Calling Specters. I'll just take the pass. Oh, we got a Sandrat out! Because his Sandrat died. And then the Dedapult triggering made the points difference. Okay. Clever, clever. So I need to find a Resurrect. There it is. The rest of this hand looks alright. There is blacklisting on the mulligans, like in beta. So if you mulligan one of your bronzes, you won't draw any other copies of that bronze for that mulligan phase, if possible. It's 100% planned and not a slightly happy accident. Okay, so he just takes the pass. I guess I will... just Spectre. Mummy should be okay. I don't know that we need the Cultist at this point. Something we wanted earlier. Basically just looking for Plague Bringer. Let's say this hand's fine. So let's get down Crushing Sands to Sandstorm the row with his leader. Oh, the way leaders work is in round 3, they come out as the first thing that happens. You can't play your leader early. It always comes out automatically in round 3. Did you show how many mulligans you have left? Yeah, it probably should. Probably should. I believe you always get 3 mulligans each phase. It's because Necrotortoise is a necromancer. He gets his resurrect on the hungry zombie. So what? I know I'm going to want to res my Zombro. Resurrect animation is still a little buggy. I don't know what causes that. Sometimes it tries to jump to the opponent's side of the board, and I'm not sure why. Okay. So here we're going to see a weather clear happen. I have a Chanter here in order to Necromantic Circle my row, which overwrites the Sandstorm. Is it hard to learn to code to this extent? I mean, it's work. I don't know. He's got another Sandstorm to counter it. Let's see. I am playing multiple. So I'm going to go, I think, just Blight Caller. Destroy unit to the right. So let's Blight Caller, kill my Crow. Let's get another Chanter to continue fighting over this weather. Observer. There's no extension. I don't have the knowledge to make an extension. Let's see. Guess I'll take this now. I want to keep getting the strengthens. The problem with boons in Old Gwent was they took like a whole turn cycle to trigger. Whereas like aggressive weather is triggered immediately. The way I tried to solve this here was the boons typically trigger on turn end, where the negative row effects happen on turn start. So even if they get overwritten, they still do something. Take the Dedapult now. Deals 12 to the Zombro and 12 to his board. That's a thing you could do. But why make it more complicated? Why give them 2 effects when the mechanic still works to just 1 effect? Doesn't really matter. I don't need to boost this. No, I drew the MS Paint looking ones. I have an artist that I've been commissioning the other card arts from. So he gets another res here. Back hungry zombie. Yeah, he's not taking full advantage of all these consumes. So we can finish this with just a transmuter. I'll kill the Master Necro. Just make sure nothing crazy happens here. It's the blue boy looking card. Tormented Nostalgic. Banish a unit from the graveyard, summon a copy of that unit from your deck. So I have 3 decks that I prepared. That was the first one. The next one I want to play is this Zathu deck. It does different things in round 1 and round 2. So in round 1, whenever a zombie is deployed or resurrected, strengthened up by 1. And then if he manages to win round 1, he gets to get more of an advantage by strengthening them by 2 in round 2 when they're resurrected. So you're going to want to generally either not lose round 1 to Zathu, or at the very least not lose round 1 quickly to give them a lot of time to strengthen up their units. The core card here is Miasmatic Heap, which when it dies, it gets 2 stronger. So the idea here is we have different ways to continue consuming the heap and stack strengthens on it with both our leader and its own dies trigger. We're playing the maximum amount of resurrects we can. We've got the full 3 young necromancers, 2 seasoned necromancers, as well as a risen necromancer in order to res them in round 3. Bunch of different ways to consume. We're playing Ancestral Hall, which helps us dig through our deck to find our Chanters, which is another way to strengthen up our stuff. To load our graveyard with the 1 of Heap, we have 2 Reckless Necromantics, which sends a 0-cost zombie from our deck to our graveyard and strengthen it by 3. Are there any different rarities? There's just the provisions. So, like with this deck, this costs 3, this costs 3, this costs 3, this costs 2, this costs 1. You can play 1 copy of any 3 or 2 cost card, 2 copies of any 1 cost card, and 3 copies of any 0 cost card. Anyway, let's queue up here. If anyone wants to play, just click the Find a Match button. It happens too fast for you to keep up. Yeah, there's like a line where, I don't know, I like the game being fast-paced with animations, because I kind of just want to play the game and not get bogged down waiting for things to happen. But there's definitely a middle ground somewhere where the game's like too fast. And we might be a little bit on the too fast side, but finding that balance is hard. A couple people in the deck builder. Felt like you cheated. You didn't do anything with your hungry zombies. Yeah, if anyone just wants to quickly try out a game, there are starter decks. You don't need to build your own. You can make a real quick account. Takes maybe 15 seconds. And just hit the Q button. Should work right out of the box. Deck is fully playable in game's fully playable in browser at this link. So basically, if you were playing Stream Raiders, you have no excuse to not click on the URCG link. It is just as easy. Arguably easier because it doesn't take 10 minutes to load. Ooh. Okay, we got Karma here. He's playing Richard. Whenever a soldier is deployed, spawn an infantryman to a random row. I'm just gonna bid 5 again. For mulligans, I do want reses. Okay, I have the Reckless Necro. I don't need Tormented Nostalgic in round 1, and I don't want the Heap in my hand. But aside from that, I'm pretty happy. This game open source. Now. Closed source, but free to play. Let's just lead on the Reckless Necro, throw the Heap in the graveyard. Tooltip? Weird. Yeah, there are two factions to the game. We are playing the Undead faction with all of our decks tonight. This is a leader from the Human faction, so he's going to have very different cards than we saw Redaranan have last game. Undead's more about interacting with graveyards, where humans do a lot of align many thingies. They're like the faction that really takes advantage of Scorch, has cards that synergize with armor. Okay, let's go Young Necro. Bring back our heap. Get the one strengthened from the Zathu. This is not legal when saving. You might be going over your provision count. Each leader has 16 provisions currently. And you should be able to see in the deck builder how many you have left. Whenever one of your other units gains armor, boost self by 1. This is an engine that they can get out of control very quickly. Every time you play something on the melee row, this gets bigger. Every turn end, it gets bigger. I don't have an answer to it. How many courage did you have? Minimum 25. Maybe that could turtle in it because you know turtle. Turtle is one of my favorite cards. It's got great art. I like the mechanics around it. Carlos here boosts a unit by its armor, so he gets +7 on his reinforced longswordsman. I don't want to save this until he plays a fortification. I don't want to just get blown out. Let's consume our heap. And then because one of our units died during our turn, the carrion feeder comes out of the deck. Terrified recruit. Turn end if armored, boost adjacents by 1. So opponent is assembling a lot of engine value here. They're getting 2 a turn on this, 1 a turn naturally on this, potentially more when stuff is played to the front line. Let's go and res our heap again. We have 1 more res for our heap. Yeah, this is basically arcade. It doesn't have armor naturally, but when you play it on the front line row, it gets the 2 armor. Very similar card. There's a few things like that. Cards that are like almost beta cards. Like old Villain Trentonmirth is a card. Target gains 4 armor. So we're probably gonna start getting shield bashed soon, maybe. Let's see. I want to do this. Res the heap again. Unfortunately, the hungry zombie is eating the strengthens now because it's the tallest unit. Necromantic Circle is on turn end strengthen. Oh, this tooltip's strong too. It strengthens the highest zombie on the row. I thought I fixed that. Auditions for voice lines. Oh, where's my volume? There are sound effects. Whoops. I'm so used to testing with no sound effects on. Yeah. Just take this pass. I'm a little scared. I did make this. Yeah, the Greedy Knight's big there. It removes all armor from an ally and boosts self by the amount. What does my Tormented Nostalgic do? It's me... It's points. think I want the Chanter right now. Arisen's pretty great. Kick the Mummy. Kick the Call. Thanks, Mr. J. I'm happy with how it's turning out to you. We've got a somewhat active Discord group that plays games from time to time. Hoping to play it more on stream over the next few days, weeks, months. But I wanted more of the card arts to come in. So let's get rid of the other Reckless Necro from deck. It's not something that I want to draw. I need this Hungry Zombie. I sort of like this Hungry Zombie. I don't need the Dedichet. The main differences. The ways the rows work, the way mulligans work, you have blacklisting again. The whole way leaders work is different. There's no orders. There's a lot of differences. You kind of got to just jump in and try it. I'm trying to explain stuff as I go. The way coin flip works is different. It's a points auction instead of random. Let's play the Risen. I keep like running over to the end turn button on Reflex. Don't need to click that. Not a thing. So basically here, we're hoping that our Strengthened Heap is going to be enough points, consuming it 1, 2, 3 times, maybe 4 times, to overcome all the engine value that our opponent's going to generate with Richard in round 3 here. Those are the wrong ones. Yeah, Risen Necromancer resurrects 2 random zombies that cost 1 or less when it dies. Really good in the high rolls, but the only way to reliably make it work is just not play a lot of zombies. We don't do that. Let's get the heat back. So currently opponent's got 2 points a turn plus an armor a turn, and possibly more. That's linear, okay. If there's no more engines getting established, I think we'll be okay. I can even just kill his leader if I want to. Let's draw the unit to the left. Yeah, let's take out the leader. I don't have a sound effect for that yet. There's another engine. Play this to res the heap again. I think we're gonna be alright. I think his hand was a little too linear here. The soldiers deck can do some scary scaling in round 3. When it's all in the armor package. Spells and special cards the same thing? No, spells is a subset of specials. They have the tag spell. Destroy the unit to the left. Boost self by power. I still have another res, right? Oh, I don't. Ooh. So what am I Cataclysm heralding for? They're just get a Sandstorm really late? I guess I'm just getting a Sandstorm really late. This is 7. This is also 7. Still hit his armor, and I don't want to hit his armor. Yeah. I commissioned the artwork. Most of it. Some of the placeholder stuff I made, but that's just placeholder stuff. Hipster for Hire or Tim Barzalo did most of the art that looks good. Shield bash there, and I guess we just hope we have enough here. Oh, I did just play into a... I was playing into Scorch anyway. Okay, but no tall removal there. Whoa, that was still really close. That was a big greedy night. So 5-point game in the end there. I think we maybe would have lost that to slightly different sequencing. Because he played a linear card before establishing one of his engines. Just went in without changing decks. So the last deck that I wanted to play here, we've seen Sandstorm in all of the games so far, but this is the archetype that's really built around it. We've got mummies here. The leader here is Roktep the Mad. In rounds 1 and 2, it applies the Sandstorm to the opponent's frontline row, which is the melee row. And then in round 3, whenever you play a mummy, you put Sandstorm on the opposite row for as long as Roktep is alive. And there are a bunch of different mummies. Dusty Giant boosts self by 3 on deploy for each Sandstorm on their board. Ensnaring Mummy moves stuff around. Rapid Reveler is an engine that boosts itself every turn by the number of Sandstorms on the opponent's board. We saw Sandrat. Whenever an opposing unit dies under Sandstorm, this comes out of the deck. And you got some control cards. We're playing Lightning Bolt. We're playing Zathu's Edict in order to make pulling the Sandrats out of our deck a little bit easier. Ancient Overseer is the main carryover option for this deck. Whenever an opposing unit dies while under Sandstorm, the Ancient Overseers get bigger. And, yeah. If you guys want to play this game, it is easy to play. Just click on this link. Takes maybe 15 seconds to sign up. There are starter decks. Ooh, and queue into Wild Boat. Okay. So Wild Boat is playing Zathu, which is the leader that we were playing last game. I'm just going to bid 5 again. It's a solid baseline bid. You don't know what's going on. He bid 0. So I don't really want the Ancient Overseers in my starting hand, but I really don't want Sandrats. And the way mulligans work is they do blacklist. So now that I've mulliganed the Sandrat, I will not draw the other Sandrat in my deck for the remainder of this mulligan phase. Double Wrapped Reveler. Yeah, I think we can just kick the Overseer too. Doing an hour of URCG BBs every Sunday. Yeah, I might. I could see it. I want to run like tournaments for it too. I'm not sure exactly how I want to handle it. But there is a functioning spectator mode. There is a theoretically functioning tournament system. I still need to test it a little bit, but... So because our leader is Roktep, his frontline row is Sandstormed. Turn start, the leftmost unit in this row will be damaged by 2. Sort of disincentivizes him from wanting to play into this row. got a couple of other ways to make Sandstorm. We've got a Zathu's Edict, sends the highest 0 provision unit from our deck to the graveyard, and damages the opposing unit by its power. This is a control tool. I think here, just gonna throw this here and Sandstorm this. It'll kill the mindless zombies as they come out, as they're just 2 power tokens. Which will provide some good food for our ancient overseers. This Old Gwent in disguise. It does quite a few things differently than Old Gwent, but it's probably more similar to Beta Gwent than it is to Homecoming. Okay, I can kill this, right? I have a Ensnaring Mummy that I can send to the graveyard. So let's just Edict the Hungry Zombie. I'm playing a Dead of Winter. Oh, even better. And now these 2s will get eaten by the Sandstorm, buffing up our ancient overseers. Contraptions don't have a tribe on them. The contraptions should have the contraption tag. Because the Carrion Feeder dies, sees the Carrion Feeder die, so it comes out from deck. Him killing things under Sandstorm for me is making our thingies better. No point in getting the Sorcon down. I think for now I'm happy to just play a Justy Giant for 13, and I'll play it on the carryover row. Oh, contraptions are things that are created by other cards. You want to search Inventor. Inventors create contraptions, I think. All of them. I think. But all the contraptions are tokens. Yeah, I'll do this too. I'm pretty happy playing Vengeful Pharaoh if it kills a bunch of tokens. Hey, last gel. It's different than Gwent. Does a lot of things differently. Okay. Get some mindless zombies. Let's just pull it in order to get all of the units in Sandstorm. So we're getting 6 per turn. Threatening to win on even here after our opponent's 0 bid. How many cards? Not counting tokens, I think it's 115. I tried Bazaar yet? No. It's a deck builder, right? Is it out? Okay, so we do win on even here. How big are our Overseers? Our Overseers are currently 16. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy to just go to a long round. That should be good for us. There are no dinosaur cards. Unless you count Tortoise as a dinosaur. Yeah, I'm just dry passing into round 3. I just want the long round for maximum Sandstorm value. His leader really wants to play round 2 too, so I want to not allow that. This hand looks good. I know I don't want to have mummies in hand. I guess I would want more Rapt Revelers. You can goose him. Anything relevant to goose? Not really. I'll kick the goose. Probably don't need the bolt. These work. And now as long as this Rocktep lives, whenever a mummy is deployed, I apply a Sandstorm to the opposite row. So basically all of my mummies do the role of the basic mummy for as long as this thing stays in play. There are a few that are inspired by magic cards. I don't think Trafficker is one of them. Okay, Rocktep down to 2. Let's just start with this. And again, applying the Sandstorm because of the round 3 on our leader. His leader doesn't do anything in round 3. He really wants to have a round control so he can play into round 1 and 2. Definitely a rough spot for Zathu to be in here. You go face? No, it's very Gwent-like. You're just fighting over points. Okay, let's get down the Reveler. Now this gets +2 every turn. A unit under Sandstorm died, so the Sand Rat pops out. These Overseers just keep on growing. Just go face mean. Attack your opponent's life total. Like, end the game early. The closest thing to going face in Gwent is, like, pushing for a 2-0. Gets the Deadbolt. Okay. I'll play the first Overseer. It'll still grow while it's here. And this just fills up all the weather. Now we're getting, what, 12 per turn? It's probably just gonna bury him. Didn't really set anything up with the Zathu either. That interaction's so rough against the Consumes. Stolen Blue Boy card? Nah, it's not stolen. It's not even named Blue Boy. Let's pull you to melee. Yeah, this was over, I think, when you lost round 1. Just sort of bury him in the weather. Drown him in the sandstorm. Stolen into Mr. Strimmer's own face. Still got our big removal cards remaining. Hero pass. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're winning here. He's roping me. He's roping me. Rude. Rude. Okay. What cards did we not really get to look at? Oh, I didn't show off King of Beasts. Okay, let me real quick throw together Hyper Thin. This deck's worth showing off. This deck's cool. It plays Master Necro. This is the Heijimaru's art. What does this deck play? You made a King of Beasts deck? Oh, if you've got it, then I guess we can play. I just don't have it built. I'll play Tortoise again. Let's queue. If you want to get in the client and spectate the games too, there is a fully functional spectator mode if you want to be able to mouse over cards and read them. Mine would be pretty bad too if I threw it together on the spot. Rel. So Richard again. We'll see if this is the starter deck again. So right now I'm missing access to the Zombros. That's not good. No! My greed was punished. There's a way more conservative way to build this deck, where you play multiple copies of the Zombros. I'm instead opting to just play the two, along with a single Blight Caller to tutor them. Yeah, so our deck's not really gonna do anything in round 1, which probably means it's not gonna do anything in round 3 either. I can try to stack strength on a Deadapult. I don't know why I put this melee. This definitely just should have been on commands for some carryover. Well, here we are. You can try to stack boosts on Carrion Feeder, maybe. That could be a plan. You do have 3 cultists. I do play double Carrion Feeder specifically for this backup plan. I may have also done all of the row effects. catch up with this. Am I not playing Hungry Zombies? Wait, why am I not playing Hungry Zombies? It's like the best card for this deck. So the persistent on this card means on a round end it'll go back to the top of deck. It's sort of like Echo, but it doesn't gain doomed and can be interacted with by just killing it. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be killing it. So he is going to get to persist. Good Crushing Sands it. That's probably better than not. Yeah, I think that Greedy Knight wins him the round. Okay. So we've got a 7-point Crow in our deck. Still none of the Zombros. Take the dry pass with Grave Calling Spectre if he dry passes. Yeah. So I no longer get to do anything crazy with my leader. She's going to come out as 10 points. Find the Plague Bringer. Missing Blight Caller. That'll be fine. Tutor doesn't matter too much. Now, I do want to kill his leader, and my Tortoise doesn't matter. Do I guess I'll just Flesh Transmuter it. Don't think the Consume does all that much for me. Gives him 3 zombies to compensate, but it disables that engine. There's the Arbiter. I do have a weaken for that. Let's do this first. And then we can Seasoned Necro our Strengthened Deadbolt back. Might be okay here. He does have double Arbiter, though. Homecoming we deserve. Hey, Oysenberg. Yeah. Those are gonna be pretty good. This only deals 8. If I do this, maybe the random pings will take it out. Nope. Well, always next turn. I think we're gonna be okay. I hope. It's representing 2 per turn each right now, plus whatever he plays melee. I'm gonna Blight Caller down this, I think. Just because it turns both of them off. And that should lock the game. It's the row effect. It's the fortification. On turn end, the unit with the lowest armor gains 2 armor. Oh, I didn't have a spell left. They are spears. They are spears. Okay, I don't think he'll be able to do 30 something. Yeah, that's more of a round 1 and 2 card. So we take it by 21. So the Crow plan ended up working out. I wasn't sure how well that would work as a backup plan. I haven't had to do that. No idea what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected, right? Playing a new game for the first time. You got a deck? We can play one more. Just to point out, there are like a bunch of puzzles that I've put quite a lot of time into making. If you would like a more puzzly experience rather than playing games. Like Thronebreaker puzzles. Let's do Heap again. If you want to play Karma. Yep, this is my game. You queued the wrong deck? Oh. Ooh, Francesco, my boss. So in round 1, this is like sort of the opposite of Zathu, where he's bigger in round 1 than in round 2. But he can run away with things if you go on too long in round 1. There's our Reckless Necro. When I've been working on this, on and off for about the last year. You're gonna get the Heap in the yard. So there's the Roughneck. What's he trading here? So he's got the Launderers going. Can't quite kill it. I do need to kill this. This doesn't die. He stacks a bunch of strength on a card called Underworld Launderer, which when it's traded, it boosts the lowest unit he controls by its power. What was that? Advisor into Call. So he's playing a random 0 cost from his deck right now. It's bugged? Wait, why? That looks right. You played Advisor, it cast Call. Yeah, it got you Ancestral Call, which played the Hired Mercenary. Yeah, because the call just happens. It showed it off to the side, if you're paying attention there. So Roughneck needs to die. It's a very high priority target. Turn end if you have not passed. Trade the leftmost card in your hand. So every turn, he's effectively getting 2 hand boost. Or I guess deck boost in this case. Get the Chanter down next to try to stack more strength on the heap. Necromantic Incantation puts a Necromantic Circle on the row, which strengthens the highest unit in the row by 1 on turn end. This is Advisor into Lightning Bolt. Not sure why it teleported there, but but it did. Okay, so if he takes the pass, I think that means we get to bully him in round 2 with our big strength and things. I could push for the 2-0, or I can be a little more conservative. I think if we end up going to a round 3, we're going to be pretty favored, because we'll have a big strength and heap. So just play to maximize that potential. Animations, yeah, there's some animations, some sound effects. Another lightning bolt there. So what, I've got 3 reses left? Hungry zombie here. Oh, yeah. And this was the spell that was coming out of deck from Advisor. This deals 8 damage. Okay, let's go Cataclysm Herald into... I don't have a Necromancer in play right now, so we're getting Seasoned Necro. Unless... No. Oh, this is a little buggy. Is our heap. So there's that Launderer that got traded earlier. I think I'm happy to just take this pass. Got a pretty beefy heap in the graveyard. Yeah, this is basically Brand Warrior. I think it's just the exact same card. Ooh, Sadistic Pyromancer. Don't need Chanter. Don't really want Call either. Time time do I spend on game development every day? It varies pretty wildly. There have been like entire months that I've taken off, and there are some days I work for like 12 hours. Give observer. You can if you go into URCG, you can spectate the game in client. So let's do that, kill the Necro, and it does bring the heap back. This is unfortunately only playing for like 12, I think. I get a Reckless Necro. This blows up most of his board, though. Maybe we even get to kill the Vault Longbowman? Not quite. Just short on our big random pings. Probably a loss here. Maybe. Oh. Oh, I had last play, right. Right. I thought I had one more card. Right. Bit weird getting used to not, like, seeing the opponent's hand. Traded away your Pyromancer, oh no. Yeah. Okay. So that's URCG. We will definitely be playing more of this in the future. The only decks we played tonight were some undead decks. Next time we'll probably look into some of the human lists who have their own set of leaders, their own set of cards and mechanics, which we saw a bit of from our opponent there. Karma was playing the Mafia archetype. There's also like some special mages deck. There's inventors that do wacky things with contraptions. And there's the soldiers, which is what the human starter deck is. So if you want to see more, there's a fairly active group in my Discord around the game. We've got 2 people that regularly play and some people that stop in and chat, talk theory sometimes. There's some puzzles if there's other people not online. There's 8 puzzles of varying difficulty. I've been told that they're a little too difficult by a lot of people, but I like them. I'm gonna try and build a deck with Goose in it. You have to go away and work out what you can build with it. Goose is mostly a tech card. Yeah, thanks, Zodiac. It's coming together. The big things that like need to be done that I don't have like any plans on how to do is like making the UI look less shit, but that's a pretty low priority, all things considered. Yeah, card arts are slowly trickling in. Development's happening pretty regularly. If you post a bug in Discord, I usually have it patched within a few hours. Usually. Yeah, I'm really happy with how a lot of these arts turned out. Like, Colossus looks great. Tortoise looks incredible. Not to, like, single out some. Fucking Goose. Love the Goose. Yeah. Bug Fables time?